Hello, bienvenidos mujeres del siglo XXI. Welcome to Women of the 21st Century, a podcast where we talk with women who are leaders, entrepreneurs, empowered women who have changed their lives in this 21st century. I'm Sarai, I'm the host. Let's start talking. Bienvenidos a Mujeres del siglo XXI. I'm Sarai, your host. And you guys today, and we have a nice guest. She is caliente, wow. She's pretty. Look at her eyes, my God, she's so beautiful. And Marilyn Castillo. So tell more about you. What's going on with you, girl?
Well, many things are going on right now. I'm very happy to announce that I'm doing the fundraiser for my first solo album called Chicana in Nueva York. And I'm doing a GoFundMe campaign and that I started actually in the middle of the pandemic.
Wow.
And luckily, I can thank all the people who have cooperated because now we are at 75%. And I'm very happy about that. I would like to share my excitement and also share a little bit of the music that is already out from this album. I just released my third single with the same name of the album, Chicana in Nueva York, like a month ago. And yeah, like I think it was at the end of April. So yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about so many things that are going on, my sources of inspiration, which are many artists and so on.
So hold on there. So I just everybody want to know, who is Marilyn Castillo? Where did they come from?
Okay, Marilyn Castillo is a bilingual singer-songwriter who happens to be Chicana. And for those who are not familiar with the term Chicana, this is a term that came on the 1970s. And it was originated here in the United States. And it was to identify the people who had Mexican descent or who had Mexican roots, but were raised in the United States, or the children of Mexican parents who were born in the United States. So they still felt identified with their Mexican roots, but they were born and or raised in this side of the country, and I happen to be one of those.
There's so many people they don't know where does they come from, the Chicana. So now they know, everybody.
There you go. There you have it. Actually, it's kind of like an old school term, but I remember back in the day, my grandfather, who already passed, like he had a jacket, and he used to live in Chicago, and the jacket said Chicano. When I asked my dad, he's like, pues tú eres Chicana. No. You are Chicana.
So does mean you're born here, or what part of Mexico you are born, or
well, originally
United States?
I was born in El Paso, Texas, which
Paso.
is a border city. Yes, it's a border city with Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. And Ciudad Juarez, like it has a countless history of being a very dangerous city because of the feminicides back in the 90s. However, though I lived in the city during that time, I wasn't that close to the scene because this was more likely like for the working class people who were like in the assembly industry. So it's nothing that got like very related to me. But yes, I was born in El Paso. I was raised in Ciudad Juarez until I was 14. Then I came back to El Paso when I was 14 to continue my studies, just to help my parents and take advantage of my citizenship.
Exactly.
So I did high school and I did university in El Paso, Texas.
Wow, that's exciting. Yeah, we know Ciudad Juarez is. There's so many, a lot of issues there. The femicide as a woman, and we know there are human traffic. So it's crazy. But I love Mexico. We have so many nice singers from El Paso or Ciudad Juarez. What about Juan Gabriel?
Correct.
And you was tell me other ones I even know they're from there, Ciudad Juarez.
Yeah, like Tintan. There was another Mexican artist, an actor whose name is Humberto Zurita. And well, I have very fond memories of Ciudad Juarez because I grew up like all my childhood. I was there. I had very fond memories of like going to the Chamizal Park,
Yes.
and to the Central Park there, which is like a tiny bitty space. It's not
Like all the towns. My town from my Oaxaca is small. It's small. It's small.
Yeah, well, nowadays, I mean, they've increased it in the sense that they even like built a high school there, and they have like a children's park. So I have very fond memories from like playing in the church's choir there, like going to the contests, like singing contests in Juarez, and also like my first gigs, singing gigs were in Ciudad Juarez. So it is not all bad. Actually, I think it's a very resilient city. And due to like all the insecurities that narco and like all these crazy things happened,
yes.
Many people were very strong, very resilient, and many beautiful things came out from that, because people started like relying on sports, people started relying on art. So there's always something positive coming out of the negative.
Exactly. That was we're talking about that. We don't want to be talking more about El Paso, because El Paso is nice. I was in the Paso and I love it. I love it. The place you walk to Ciudad Juárez, and it's beautiful. That ¿cómo se dice? El puente,
the bridge.
El puente, pero donde está la ¿cómo le dicen? La bajita, algo así. And when you cross the border to Mexico, you can see all these people selling these things. Many are
exactly, yeah, because there's like all the merchandise of the indigenous people,
yes.
And yeah, like they have like their pottery, they have the beautiful traditional clothes and everything, and this is in downtown Juarez.
La Gavita.
Nice, yes.
Sí, oh, beautiful. And that's the best thing we have, and we have many things in Mexico, and that's bad when talking about, because I know friends they're from here, and I say, well, let's go to Mexico. They say, oh no, I don't want to go. It's really bad. Narcos, they're gonna take me. Maybe I never come back. So they had that bad ideas from Mexico.
We have. I mean, I guess this is fear in general, because we are used to just see, like the bad news in the news. But there's always the positive aspect of the culture, and it is beautiful to explore. Of course, we have to be aware. It's like if you come to New York and you just go by yourself into like shady places, it is just like common sense. Like go with somebody that already knows and that you trust. I mean, it's the same in every country, in every city. You just have to be aware and try to go with somebody that knows, so you can be, so you can take advantage to the fullest of whatever trip you're gonna make.
And all these also, I want to ask you about the narc. You see many these problems happening over there, Ciudad Juarez, when you was there?
When I was there, yes, there was a situation, especially like in 2010. There was, like this the former president at the
Chapo.
time. Yes, the former president at the time like was more into, like eradicate that problem, but it really made the whole war explode.
More.
So there were moments when you had to be at home, like at a curfew, like after 10 p.m. You shouldn't like go out of your house and stuff like that. But luckily, I mean, that was an impulse for me to just decide to, come back and take advantage of this side of the river, I guess, and continue pursuing my musical career on this side.
On this side, yeah.
Besides of the fact that in general, for an artist, sometimes it is just best to leave their place of origin in order to make it and then come back. In Mexico, we have like this saying that is, nadie es profeta en su propia tierra. So exactly. You're not a prophet in your own town. You need to go out, you need to explore, you need to be known somewhere else, and then you come back. Exactly. So that's what we decided to do. At the time, I was still married, and
you married? I don't know you was married.
I am currently in the process of like separation in good terms, very thankfully. My husband is a great musician. He was a great partner, a great one of my sources of inspiration, and he was a great supportive of my art. So thanks to him, like I got to be produced. Like he helped me to produce my album, and for that I'm always thankful. We were like professionally, we were very helpful, so we ended up in good terms, and I'm very happy.
That's good. That's good.
So we decided, like I decided to. He always wanted like to come to New York. He always wanted like to pursue like his jazz career. So we moved to New York back in 2014, and that's when we started like this crazy journey, and we got to know like these amazing people like you, Sarai, and like many other artists from whom we learn many things musically. On the business side as well, we got to sharpen our skills.
Exactly.
And we've been happy like to go back to Mexico and present one of our projects that is called Sound, which is music from Mexico, like Cuban, Mexican, and Puerto Rican boleros. And now we have added like for this next album,
Chicana
original music that has like traditional rhythms of Latin America. In my case, I decided to part also because I also had like some compositions that were not exactly the same as Sound. Sound was like more, like conceptual, jazzy. And I always felt attracted to pop music.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of like Alejandro Sanz, Luis Miguel, Laura Pausini, Juan Gabriel, Rocío Dúrcal. And I also like jazz. Like I'm a very big fan of Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday.
Oh, she's one of my...
Ella Fitzgerald. I love Tony Bennett. So,
I was in Harlem, and I see this little restaurant that we just started. Really, oh my God, they had a picture, everything from all these jazz people on Harlem.
All this super all-stars at the time. So I've always been like very varied, and I like to keep my repertoire varied. Like I like to meander like around different styles of music.
You are open on everything. Yes, that's the thing.
Yes. So that's why I decided like to also like do my own music. That it was, and it was also like more like, I guess like women focused, like more dreamy, more girly-ish. So it wasn't something that a guy would sing. So it's something that I just like, it was my message, something that I had to say. So that's why I decided to also like part and have my solo album as well, instead of just like incorporating the songs into the group that I had with my husband. And he supported me. And well, that's how Chicana Nueva York came out.
Oh, perfect. Yes, perfect. That was good. I was listening to your first song, and I was like, oh, I love it. I was getting addicted to this song.
Oh, todavía. Yeah, that was my very first song. This is coming also in Chicana, Nueva York. And it's not the very first song that I composed, but it's the very first single that I released in all digital platforms.
Yes.
And yes, it kind of created a little controversy in the sense that, like people tell me like, well, if you're Mexican, why are you singing with a Spanish accent? You have to listen to the song. Probably you're going to play it. Please be my guest to visit my YouTube channel or my...
Yeah, everybody. Come on, girls. Support this Chicana.
Yeah, just look for Marilyn Castillo or MarilynCastillo.com, and it'll take you to the right places. And yes, well, the first song has a little bit of like Spanish, flamenco-ish hints. Se escucha ahí poquitito. And I love it. I mean, I know that there's a controversy because many people from Mexico still have like that resentment about like, Spanish people were bad to us and they destroyed our culture and they built their temples. And it's like, well, that happened hundreds of years ago. And
500 years ago.
And if that didn't happen, we wouldn't speak Spanish. Maybe, I mean, there are
many issues. You want to talk about all these things. We would never end.
Yeah, but you know what I discovered that is like that really caught my attention? Like uh, the that for todavía we went to Spain to record the video. Like we went because we went. I always wanted to go. I always been like interested in flamenco music. Not that I'm an expert or anything. I got to.
I think we have all the Mexican. We had that. I love the music from there. I love las castañuelas. I like the dance. I used to dance because flamenco.
It like, believe it or not, or whether we like it or not, we are influenced by that because we are mestizos already. We're mixed. Maybe not all of us, but some of us like can show a little bit more than others, and that is totally fine. So I always was called like to go and see. When we went over there, we decided like to take advantage of the vacation and record the video there. And that is when I discovered, you know what? Many cultures before what we know now as Spanish or Españolas or whatever. Before that, it was the Moorish people. Before that, it was the Greeks. Before that, it was the Celtic, you know, like, so all these cultures just mimicked what happened in their own lands, you know, like they have like temple over temple, like built over temples, because that's how people used to destroy their cultures when they were conquered. So they did the same thing, but it happened to them at the same time.
Exactly.
Many, many years ago. So it is interesting to see like how they just like...
Well, for us, it's happened only once.
Only once.
The Catholic, they come and throw all we used to have, but now it's more religions there.
Correct. And for them, it was like more than 4 times that happened. So I cannot criticize because they just continue doing what the only thing they knew how to do, or the only thing they knew. But at the same time, it is very interesting, like how culture like sometimes goes in circles or never learns.
It's happened here. You can see here in America, now they accept now where they come from. They accept the Latino accent. They accept the music. So they some white people they think we wanna take everything, but it's not like that. It's because the culture, we have a different things. The culture involved to the other American people here. They love it. They love the accent. They want to speak Spanish. They love the food. The rice, arroz con pollo, tacos, the original tacos.
The genuine tacos. So yes, I mean, like, it is beautiful, like, not just do the culture appropriation, but also embrace the people who bring this culture. And that is very important. And also, why not saying, like, for example, in my case, I cannot say that I'm completely Mexican. I feel more Mexican than American in the sense that I was raised in Mexico. But at the same time, maybe I look too white for certain Mexican people to call me Mexican. And then I look too dark for certain American people to call me American. So I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, you know, like I'm in this limbo. But at the same time, this Chicano culture or this mixed culture, it is now a new trend, is a new culture that cannot be erased because we have multilingual people in this country, not only Spanish, but like Portuguese, French, German.
Most in New York.
Yes, and especially in New York, yeah, you cannot close yourself or limit yourself to just one culture. It is good to embrace your roots. It is beautiful. But also, it is amazing to see like all the similes, how we look different, how we look the same, like things that are almost the same, but at the same time, you know, it is just one little word, one little pattern that makes us realize, okay, no, this guy is from Colombia. This guy is from Peru.
Yes, the accent, but in the end, we are the same.
In the end, we all are people. And that is a beautiful thing, like that we are able like to embrace our roots, but also find like things that make us compatible and find the differences that make us unique. And it is amazing. I just love it. Yes. I just love New York for that fact. And that's why in my album, like although I'm a Chicana, I clarify that I'm in New York and I'm not going to limit myself to just play Mexican music because
mariachi
exactly or like, it's a misconception. Mariachi is one of the most popular musics in Mexico that identifies itself like throughout the world, but it's not the only one. You also have norteño, you have banda, you have marimba, you have so many things that some people don't get to know. But I know, like, there's always going to be like a stronger genre that is going to be highlighted, and that's totally fine. But if I like samba, or if I like Cuban music, or if I like
reggae,
calypso or reggae, why wouldn't I try to make a little ode or
something
a homage?
funky
Yes,
that
exactly, or a little bit of jazz. It's not that I'm not saying like I'm an expert on the theme, but I'm saying I embrace it because I love it so much,
and the
and I
music.
respect it. Exactly.
I think the music, they open whole different worlds, the different aspect for the culture,
Correct.
the music. That's it. Wherever you go, you listen music and it's funky, wherever it's dance, salsa, wherever bachata, but you want to dance, you want to be happy, you want to enjoy it. Doesn't matter. They can make everybody dance. They can make move your foot.
Exactly, and sometimes it just portrays feelings that you have inside without even knowing the lyrics, or sometimes they don't even have lyrics, but it's just so enjoyable.
Exactly.
So it is a beautiful. That's why they call it like the universal language.
Exactly, the music. That's nice. Really like. So I want to say something, little words about Ciudad Juarez. I love Ciudad Juarez, but I just want to remind this. There was 370 women that was killed between 1993 and 2005. Why? Because the government, they don't really care. And I was really sad about that. And I want to say, we never forget. And these organizations, la organización Nuestras Hijas de Regreso a Casa, I'm going to say we're really sorry about that. It's past 12 years about happening this, and then they never the end. So like a mother, I want to say sorry for that. And I want to say Ciudad Juarez is the best place. And I hope it's going to be changed because culture is there. So like in Mexico, please, if you want to enjoy Ciudad Juarez, just go there. Have fun. Drink tequila.
Well, actually, we have a drink in Chihuahua that is close to tequila that is called sotol.
Sotol?
Yes, and that is like the typical drink, and it's becoming a little bit more popular. Back in the day, it was like very artisanal, but now they are making like importations here in the United States.
Oh, it's like a mezcal in Oaxaca.
Yes,
they
it's
make the
similar to mezcal. It comes from the same family of like tequila, raicilla, macanora, all that stuff. Yeah, and you're right. Like, we cannot ignore what happened. It wasn't only about the government, but I think there were many things involved. Like,
they have art. I see them make those murals for all the faces for those women. They never find them. They never found them. And I was like, that's the activists you getting involved to do something for your community, for your friends, for you. Maybe this happened. Maybe someone close to you, friend, a sister, cousin. We never know. So that's why I say we never forget us. And I want to say peace, girl. Peace. And let's talk about more fun and funky. You bring your guitar, so I don't know if you want to sing in something or solo. You're going to sing just like that?
It's up to you. Well, and speaking about the women, like it is very important that you mentioned it because I think that 2020 was a year of so much awakening, not only for women's rights, but for minorities here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to see that we're overthrowing all this ignorance.
Yes.
Because that's how I prefer to call it. I don't want to call it hate. It's just like sometimes hate, I believe, comes from ignorance. come from fear. It comes from fear, fearing something that you do not know, and being afraid that that is going to overthrow you instead of embrace it and learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what happens when people are ignorant. Like they're afraid of feeling less than what they ignore instead of embrace it and become wiser.
Exactly.
So I think 2020 was a year where we experimented all that, and we continue growing, and we cannot stop this awakening. And it is beautiful how people are roaring with all these beautiful organizations with art. And in my case, in my particular art, and as an activist, more than marching, I'm not saying that that is wrong. I respect the way that some people manifest their discontent. I respect the way that some people manifest their pain. But in my particular case, I just decide to focus on solutions and to give my energy, to give my art, and to give
your time,
my time and my being to the solution and to positiveness, and encouraging people to go on that side of the road instead of just pointing fingers to see who
there's
did
a fault,
it.
this you fall.
Exactly. That is just going, like, hate is just going to instigate more hate.
Exactly.
If we focus on the solutions, if we focus on love, if we focus on positivism, it's not that we are ignoring the problem, but we're just giving the energy to the solution.
That's what we're talking about. Making something on your community. Help all the women. Help it. Like I always say, if you see something, say something.
Correct.
Or at least help.
And start from yourself, because this is what happens sometimes. We are like thinking, oh, the government has to do this. Yes, it is true. But are you also a responsible citizen, or aren't you? Are you also a responsible parent, a responsible student, a responsible worker? Or do you cheat yourself and you cheat others?
That's it. That's the thing we're learning in 2020. We're learning about this pandemic and all these things. We're learning a lot. We're learning to be working more on yourself.
Correct, because everything comes from within. And then you can irradiate this beautiful positive energy to whomever is next to you. And that's when real change happens. When change happens is because it starts within ourselves, and then it's contagious.
Exactly.
In a good way.
In a good way, yes. We still have the guest, Marilyn Castillo la CHICANA, and she's gonna sing some today.
All right. Well, the next song that I'm gonna perform for you guys is entitled Yo Soy Suficiente. In English means I am enough.
There you go. On your face.
Cada vez que me rompo y me suelto, es que comienzo a nacer. Es que retomo mi rumbo y comienzo a crecer. Cada vez que yo lloro por algo, es porque duele aprender. A veces el precio es muy alto, pero lo ha de valer. Y aunque me asuste pagarlo, mirar atrás ya no puedo. Yo soy suficiente. La imaginación corre en mis venas. No existen cadenas al crear. Yo soy suficiente. Recibo con brazos abiertos la vida, abundancia, placer y libertad. Libertad. one in charge of my story, beautiful story to tell. With its ups and downs, I'm grateful for the magic of its spell. I don't know what is up for the future, for I only have today. Makes me live more to the fullest, and I try to stay that way. The ones before me knew it. Oh, and more like me, I'm awake now. I have the power within me. Beautiful light spreading over. Yo soy suficiente. Imaginación corre en mis venas. No existen cadenas al crear. Y soy suficiente. Recibo con brazos abiertos la vida, abundancia, placer y libertad. Yo soy suficiente. La imaginación corre en mis venas. No existen cadenas al crear. Y soy suficiente. Recibo con brazos abiertos la vida, abundancia, placer y libertad. Libertad. Libertad.
Bravo! Wow, it's nice.
Chicos, due to the allergies, thank you for bearing with my allergied voice. But
It's
the
okay.
message is still going through
Love it.
despite.
Yes, yes. Yo soy
Regardless of-
suficiente.
I am
Sí,
enough.
chingona, suficiente.
I think that is a powerful, encouraging, beautiful, positive message to give to every single human. We are enough. We don't need somebody to give us a tag of any sort.
Any source, exactly. No, that's perfect. Love yourself. That's the thing.
Exactly. I am enough. Yo soy suficiente.
Love it, love it. I just want to ask you the instrument. Your that's the only one. Your guitar.
Well, I also, I play guitar since I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
Of course, by now I should be more proficient. However, well, I just use the guitar to accompany myself. My dad is a musician as well, and I always wanted to pursue, like follow his steps. But I never took guitar that seriously. But of course, my dad told me, I'm not going to last you forever. You have to learn how to play your music. So that's when I decided to study music, and I just use the guitar to accompany myself. Of course, if you were to listen to the music of Chicana Nueva York on the digital platforms, you're going to be able to hear many amazing musicians that happen to live in the city, but most of them are like from different parts of Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, here in the United States, Spain. So it is always such a pleasure to get amazing, wonderful human beings and musicians to make my music richer. In my case, like, of course, like, due to convenience and to, like, Corona, it is necessary
don't
to
say
keep
that.
it. Yeah, to
We
keep
already
it.
live. We already passed.
We're already getting over that.
I hope so.
But like, due to for practical pues sí,
Para seguir, ¿no?
para hacerlo más práctico, pues yo toco, yo me acompaño. But ideally, I would love to play with my band all the time. But it's also something that has gotten me out of trouble, like to be able to perform my own music and accompany myself. I also play vihuela, which is like the small guitar for mariachi music.
Uh-huh.
Of course, I'm not a pro, so like no me van a ver nunca con mariachi Vargas.
But I saw you wearing the mariachi.
Yeah. But I mean, I defend myself, at least to accompany myself. So I'm proud of that, and I'm very happy, like to have, I mean, to be able to be in this beautiful area, like the tri-state area, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, because there's so many talented people that you can rely on.
Exactly.
It's just amazing.
The thing is, we have a lot of money in this country to help all these kids. Yes.
People who tell you it, sometimes it's a little bit upsetting when they tell you, like, so what else do you do aside from singing? ¿Cuál es tu trabajo de verdad? What is your real job? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is my real job.
Yeah, because you say you was go to school, so you take a class. So that means you have your certificate. That mean
I graduated with a bachelor's degree in commercial music, and I was the first of my class graduating from that degree with vocal performance.
Hey.
So I just love it. I mean,
so you charge it, hon.
Exactly.
You had to charge me back.
You gotta get back the bucks.
Yes,
that you invested.
There's no free. College is not free.
Well, for up to a certain extent, it could, but yeah, you need to find the grants. You need to.
It's somewhere. Yeah, it's somewhere, and I hopefully help more the kids because we have such a talent, such people. And we have the money is there. We need to help everybody. We need to help the community.
It's just a matter of like finding the context, finding the people.
And don't we need to be open more like empathy and help everybody because that's the way we are humans. Last year, 2020, we're learning that. We're learning we need to be, whatever you have, give it to other one. So
share it, cherish.
Exactly. Thank you. Dar. Yes. Because we never know how many people died last year.
Bueno, eso es verdad. Y también en el pedir está el dar.
Exactly. And say thank you.
Yeah, exactly. If you are to ask for something, be mindful. Like, like there's some things that you have to claim, but also there's ways to ask for things.
And you don't have to go to the church. You don't have to be someone like Catholic or Christian. You have to be just yourself. You have to believe in something. You have to wait in and say, okay, universe, thank you for giving me this. I'm going to share it. I'm going to give you this. You give it to me to other ones. That's we had to appreciate. That's what you had to say. Thank you to God. Thank you to the universe. Thank you for we are here. We're survive. We're alive.
Exactly, man. I mean, that was the reason why I decided like to go for my GoFundMe campaign, like in order to finish like funding my album because
support a girl.
This is the thing. Like I was producing the album along with my husband and another friend of mine from Venezuela. His name is Ismael Weiss. Mm-hmm. And like aside from the money that I was doing, like for my regular expenses as rent and the car insurance and stuff like that, I was setting aside, like little by little, like a portion so I could keep funding my album. When 2020 and the pandemic hit, I noticed that
What did you do?
that I was not going to be able to make it on my own at that point. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to survive this. Like, things are uncertain. Most likely, yes, of course. I mean, I hope that everything's going to be okay. But the train just left the station and I cannot stop it. So if anything, this is my only legacy. I don't have any children as for now. So
but you think
my album, my music, that is my baby. And that is my contribution to the world. And I need to keep like finishing this so I can like share it with the world, and that is going to be my footprint in history.
Yes.
So I decided to call up for help because, like we all say like New York tough. Yeah, I can do this. And as Mexican, we also have the Mexican pride. Yo puedo sola. I can do it myself. Yes, but there's moments when there's nothing wrong with asking for help, especially if there's people who support what you do and like what you do and maybe need to hear the message that you have in that song or that you have in that book or that you have in that play or in that poem. It needs to be shared or in that painting. So, or dance, whatever. Like, art is what makes the difference between humans and animals. I think like that the sensitivity, the aesthetics of it, like, and why not bring a message of hope? Why not bring a message of encouragement? Why not bring a message of love, fun, of empathy? If it's needed and I just feel that I have to share it, I have to do it somehow. But of course, I want to give a nice product.
Exactly.
I don't want to give, like right now I just play with my guitar, but it's not the same. Of course, it's going to have the same feeling. But if I have a better production, it's going to be more likely that it's going to have a better outreach if I can manage, like to fund it. And people were responding very well. I was very happy, very surprised, and very thankful with the people who, as for now, has cooperated.
I'm here.
And the people like who haven't cooperated, maybe monetarily, but people like Sarai who does this type of, networking and sharing. Exactly.
Sharing. I was so excited when you was remember, I think 3 weeks ago, we making this our little ¿cómo se llama? Where everybody talking about the people passed away last year. And
la ofrenda. The tribute.
Yes.
The
offering for those workers. And I was so excited to meet you and say, oh, she's coming. I was like, yes, I'm going to take her and bring to Connecticut.
And here we are. Here we are a little bit more than a month later, but here we are. Había muchos contratiempos. Sometimes it was you, sometimes it was me, sometimes it was the weather, sometimes it was other people. But here we are today, and I cannot be more thankful because I love Connecticut. It's very beautiful. It's so natural, peaceful, very colorful. It is nice to be in this part of the country.
They try to push it out more, making art here in New Haven. So, and we're working on that. Many artists. This New Haven is big on people. It's a small town, but it's big on
population,
rich on people, culture. And we are more Mexicans here. We have a community Mexican over here, and we sell the products. We have food, and we have nicer stores. We have this bread, Mexican bread bakeries. We have
rico.
Yes, and now you can see more the rich Mexican more here, and more generation growing in New Haven and making more art and show this music and everything. I was surprised when I came this. I was talking about 20 years. Nice. That was nothing.
Now, people from Connecticut that aren't Mexican, don't feel overwhelmed, and we're not taking over like to invade you. We just want to share
the culture, the food.
We just want to share.
And yes, and I was so happy. So, yes. So, Marily, I just want to ask you, what is the message you give it to all the women, to all young kids, young women about your successful?
About my what?
You're successful.
About success.
Your success.
Ay. Bueno, pues voy a decirlo en español. I'm going to say it in Spanish first, just out of respect for the people who don't know English that might be listening to the program, and then I'll say it in English as well. Bueno, el mensaje que yo tengo que decir del éxito es que es relativo, pero ya lo tienes que traer tú adentro. Créete tu sueño y no pierdas el sentido de lo que tú eres como persona. Y poco a poco la misma vida y la energía va a traerte a las personas y a los lugares correctos donde vas a poder brillar. Y, o sea, cree en ti. Es lo más importante y apóyate en la creencia que tú tengas, ya sea que pienses en Dios, en la religión, en el universo. Algo que no te limite.
Fe.
Ajá, ten fe en que y todas las cosas con fe y las cosas se van a ir acomodando porque yo lo veo que es como la ley de la atracción y se van a ir dando. Ojo, no se van a ir dando las cosas como tú quieras. Tú tienes que soltar y dejar que el universo se acomode a como tenga que acomodarse y los tiempos se van a acomodar, las personas se van a acomodar y simplemente haz las cosas por el amor de hacerlas, no con un fin egoísta, sino por el amor de hacerlas. Y así es como van a proliferar como flores, como plantas, como hojas. Todas las cosas van a florecer. And I'm going to say it in English. I'm just saying to stay true to yourself. Have faith in yourself. Believe that what you want to do in life is already done. It's already, the path is already marked. And if you have any type of sort of belief in God or the universe or however you want to call it, just rely yourself into that. Trust yourself and trust the universe. Trust how things are going, because once you trust that bigger source of energy, everything starts working towards your purpose. Don't lose your sense of purpose. Don't lose your focus, and do the things that you want to do for the love of doing them and sharing them, not for a profit. Not that you're not going to receive a profit. You will. But be mindful that things will not always happen your way. So you just have to trust. You have to let yourself go of any restraints, mental restraints or physical restraints. That doesn't matter. Just go with the flow, man.
Exactly.
Go with the flow. Stay focused and keep working. Keep working on your craft and share it with love. And I think that's the only way that things are going to flourish. This is the only way that things are going to bloom. When you stay true, when you're transparent. And even if people were to ever try to damage you, your power, your energy is just going to be bigger than that. It's just gonna crash that.
Exactly.
And whatever you're facing right now, just keep trusting on your bigger source of energy, on your bigger source of love, and everything is doable. It is true. It is not this is not a cliche that they sell you in a TV show or in a slogan for sneakers. This is something that if you truly believe it, this is what you're going to attract into your life. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just being myself. I'm being a regular woman who likes to share the love that she has for life, the love that she has for humanity, for the creation, however you want to call it. And I just want to share a positive message and take away the energy from what is not worth.
Exactly.
The energy. Give it to the right place, so everything keeps falling into the right places.
That's it. So for all this is Spanglish audio. So for everyone is curious and understand y nos escuchan and they know what we're talking about, we are bilingual people.
We're bilingual and very proud of it.
Yes.
Orgullosas.
So thank you. I'm going to say thank you, the production. Thank you for giving you a chance. And thank you so much. Thank you, Marilyn.
Gracias, Sarai.
And listen us, Mujeres del Siglo XXI. And please, don't forget about sharing. That's the first thing we need to know.
Add us on social media as well, Facebook, Instagram, Mujeres del Siglo XXI, and find out more. And maybe you can be the next mujer of Siglo XXI.
Exactly. We don't know who's going to come. So, see you, yo. Bye.
Bye.